Yeah, it's such a complex topic, but I just wanted to touch on it because I realize a lot of people don't fully understand what it is. And it sounds icky, right? When you hear the word codependency, it sounds, and you're right. And there's a reason behind that. So I want to be able to give you some information, and I do have quite a few notes tonight, although I certainly have a lot of experience in dealing with this because, yeah, for the most part of my life was all about codependency. And, you know, I know a lot of us have been brought up that way. It's a very deep program that we have basically been, you know, brought up with, and it's time now that we start to relate in a different way. So I might just put it live on Facebook just in case there's some people not wanting to. Of course, there's an error. I could say some choice words, but where are we? Now I've lost me completely. Hang on. There I am. Oh, I don't know why I just want to go live because it was all fine this afternoon. Ha! I did. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm going to share it on my timeline. And it's going to be public. So.
Oh my gosh.
Here we go. I hear a voice. Let me go here. Just setting up Facebook Live as well, Henrietta, if you can hear me.
Hang on.
Right, I'm back. Okay.
I can hear you. I have to be without the screen on though.
That's okay. I'm just trying to get back to this as well. So I'm so proud of myself to be able to figure out this meeting is being live streamed. Yay! Lee figured out the technology. I'm so proud of me. Okay, oh, I get too carried away. I get too carried away. But I looked into all of that today. I'm like, no, I'm going to live stream this into Facebook's going straight to my personal page. And it's public. So bloody hell, the world is watching, Henrietta. Look out. So, yeah, feel free not to be on screen if you don't want to. So I'm just going to get right into it because I'm not going to spend a lot of, I mean, it's such a big topic. And as I was just sort of mentioning before to myself before that a lot of us were brought up in codependent families, and then of course went on to get into codependent relationships. And so I thought I would really start with, well, what is codependency? Well, it actually occurs due to complex trauma in a child's life. So if you've grown up in a family where there's usually a narcissist involved in this, and the world revolves around them, and everybody fears everything they say and do, it's all about them, right? And so the child learns that if it does something that is displeasing to that parent, the child feels bad. The child feels like, oh, well, I'm wrong, so I must need to do something to fix this so that dad's happy again. So that program kicks off where it's like, no matter what, you know, even if it means walking around eggshells, and our need, we learn that our needs don't matter. It's whatever that particular parent wants us to do or be, or, you know, seen and not heard, whatever that is, it becomes a codependent relationship because the child is dependent on the parent for survival. And then we go ahead and we take that into our adult life and our adult relationships. That trauma, it it leaks out to all aspects of our lives. And so you end up with one person needing to fix someone who's technically broken, you know, someone who has a lot of needs that need to be filled, and they're usually a bottomless pit. And, you know, and the person who has the complex trauma of growing up like that, they're like magnets. People will just find you, you know. It's like, oh, here's a person, oh, I'm a victim, this has happened, that's happened, oh, you know, it's always someone else's fault. It's never their it's like, oh, this has just happened. And we buy that story because usually, you know, we really can relate to the feeling of not being good enough or not being loved or not being right, because we've witnessed that, we've lived that ourselves. So, Jude, why can't I find you live? I don't know. Sorry, I'm just going to message. I'm like, how can I do this? Lucky I got 3 devices. Let me just message her. She should have the Zoom link though. Oh, for God's sake, Lee, come on.
Who is it?
It's Judy Ann. Oh, maybe I didn't end up sending it to her. Oopsie, my bad. Hang on. Let me just share that with her.
And it's different from your other Zoom.
It is, and I'm not sure why. Different to the one that I use with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure why. I think it was because I've really gone through the settings in a deep way and really customed it to what I've wanted. And I think since I've done that, it's, yeah, I actually had 2 Zoom links that got shared. Well, all of you guys luckily got this one, but there was another one that I'd somehow created that happened to be the one that was linked to the event that I posted, right? So I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to fix this? Anyway, I was able to undo that and re-put in this new one. So that could have been a part of the problem. Anyway, hopefully she'll find me. I'm also live streaming on my personal page, and then she can maybe she just wants to watch it while she's doing whatever. Anyway, technology, don't you love it? It's not going to beat me. So yeah, back to codependency. So you see how that all starts to play out. It's quite interesting actually, and you know, usually there's the people pleaser wants to, can't find it. Oh, sad tears. I don't know why you can't find it, love.
Did you put it in her page?
Well, I told her it's on, also streaming on my page, and I've just sent her the link.
Oh, you know what I had to do?
What?
I had to, it said something to do with your Zoom. I had to sign into my Zoom page.
Oh yes. There's a couple of things there. I could either choose a password, or you have to authenticate who you are.
Yeah.
And I chose the authentication, even though it's annoying, but because it's a public event and a public post, I just wanted to limit the possibility of having any idiots come on and try and sabotage. So I thought, no, I want to know who it is, because that kind of makes people go away if they're trying to do the dodgy.
Yeah, that
so
might be
I apologize for that.
Come up against, because that's what happened to me in another thing, and I'm going, what?
And Zoom has just changed these rules, so perhaps something's been going on, but they've just changed these rules where it's either a passcode or authentication way of doing it, And, you know, I'm happy just to change the password, but for me, there's nothing worse than you get on, you go, oh, bloody hell, you need a password. Then you got to get out and go back and find thing. So I thought that was the less of the two evils, Henrietta, but maybe I was wrong.
No, but it makes you think, because I'm going, what?
Yeah, I know. Oh, trust me, I've had to think. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like, what? Make me think when I live in the etheric world so much. Anyway, I'll see how she goes.
Well,
I don't know why she can't get in there.
Yeah, she doesn't know what to do.
Oh, look, and you know, this topic too is such a bloody hot tamale that there's a part of our inner selves that will block this at any point, because it's like, I don't want to go there. And so there's this inner fight of, I want to change this, I want to do this, but then the other part, the wounded part goes, no, you're not getting on this call. So I kind of expect anything and everything to happen.
Is that your ego saying
I know the triggers. Can't get into Zoom and I can't find your live stream on your personal page. Oh, I have to watch replay. Well, that's just bizarre bananas. And I can't look at it on my, I go, because it's told me on my page that I'm live, and I am live.
Yeah, it's got live up here.
Yeah. See, and that this is what I'm saying. Energies are making her go, yeah, it's like, no, I'm not going to let you.
What was I going to ask?
And I know I'm digressing, you know, with all of this, and I might cut some of this chitty chat out as well.
So does that mean, so that person, yeah, is this love or is it really codependency? Okay. So that person becomes a people pleaser.
Yes, absolutely. And that was my next thing. That's exact. We become a people pleaser because we are running off. This is what we had to do with our parents. We had to keep them happy in order to stay out of harm's way and survive. Forget about thriving. If you live this situation, there was no thriving going on. And that's why as adults and as empaths and as healers, we can really struggle to thrive. We are stuck in survival mode because until we heal those complex childhood traumas and clear that energy out of our system altogether, we ain't going nowhere. We will just attract different person or different face, what she's saying. She sent me a photo. Different person, same person, different face, basically.
It would have been interesting if she was on.
It's saying she's on my meeting with you. What the hell? She shouldn't even have that. Well, that's bizarre. Maybe I sent her the wrong one. I did. Shit. I did. I sent you.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, Lee.
Oh man, I tell you, see, it's because I'm talking to you and I knew I'd sent you obviously the thing. So let me go to someone else's that I've sent to and let me send it to her. Because I can feel she's like in tears, like, get me on here.
I find her quite interesting.
Oh yeah, I love her. I love her to bits. We're like sisters. All right, she should be able to get on now. Oh, dry the tears. She can dry the tears. Yeah, so you're right. People pleasing. We become the people pleaser, and no matter what we do, it will never be enough. It will never be good enough. There will never be enough love poured into them. Anything we do that they don't like is, are you doing this to piss me off? Like, there is no win. There is no win with that narcissistic behavior. So we normally choose a narcissist. And to what extreme or what level? Well, that depends on their upbringing and what they've dealt with. And if they have not cleared their trauma, their wounds of never being loved, never being good enough. See, because you know, in families, you'll either have, you could have one terrible parent, and you will decide as a child, I will never be like that, and you become the opposite, or you actually become like that. Right? So there's two choices.
I've said
But
that.
the one who often says, I will never be like you, you're the one that ends up being the people pleaser. So
Yeah.
until we heal the childhood trauma, it's just going to be one shit show after another, really. So welcome to the human paradigm on planet Earth called the codependency program, because it is rife. And it's sneaky. Like, a lot of people think, oh, that's just relationships. They're up and they're down. And, you know, sometimes we fight and we call each other names. That's wounding, coming from the wounded child. If we're not coming from a place of love and respect, we're coming from wounding. And if we're coming from wounding, it's going to be tumultuous. It's not going to be the harmony that you had hoped. You know, you're always going to have to be double checking on yourself. Now, if I do this, ooh, can I get away with that? If I do that, no, I better not do that, because that will really piss him off, and it's not worth the effort. And so what we do is we stop asking for our needs to be met. Hell no, our needs don't matter. We have to please them, and, you know, usually everyone else around, because especially as a mother, we take on that role. And while we're trying to placate him, we're trying to keep our babies safe. You know, we're trying to just calm everything down. We're like this meat in the sandwich of constant turmoil, of trying to just keep the peace, keep the peace. Kids, don't yell too loud, keep the peace. And what are we teaching our children? We're teaching them the codependency program again. So it's, yeah, it really is a horrible thing. And of course, in those relationships too, it's like a parent-child relationship. But you become the parent. The people pleaser is the parent, placating and taking care of an adult who refuses to grow up and wants to just be the child and be the, everything should revolve around me. And how do you think that's going to work out?
No.
You know, we'll give and we'll give and we'll give. And because our needs aren't being met, and unless they're being met outside the relationship in some way, and quite often we do, you know, we can become workaholics, or, you know, well, whatever our need is to get filled, whatever that is, we'll find a way, perhaps in some coping mechanism, which quite often can be addictive behavior within itself. And yeah, we end up dying inside, because we're not being showered on, we're not being appreciated, we're, you know, our needs aren't getting met. So you kind of get why it's a fail. It's a fail system, right? Do you have any questions or any aha moments while I'm talking about that?
Well, I just realized that they would be people pleasers.
Yeah, and so there'll always be a narcissist and a people pleaser, and we call ourselves empaths, but really I've looked into that myself lately and thought, empaths, is that also a program where it becomes a strength in one way, because we can tune into people's energies and know where they're at and have compassion and be able to give what they need, and we become an amazing giving person. But it doesn't serve us. It really doesn't serve us. We have to ask for our needs to be met. And unfortunately, the longer the relationship goes on, the worse it gets, right? It can start off in baby steps and you don't notice, and you might be a bit, not happy and not, a bit, and as it goes on, you get more and more resentful. They've usually upped the ante and become more and more difficult. And the worse it gets, the sicker you get. and the smaller, you know, contracted being you get, and you just, your mental health really suffers. You really, it's like, yeah, it's like, I mean, I've never been on drugs. I can't say that part of it as an experience, but I know the drug of codependency. I know the feeling of, you want to walk away, you know it's no good, you know you deserve better, you wish you could, you know, you might even have a plan in your head of how you're going to do it, but somehow you always get sucked back in. You always get false promises, or, you know, it's a bit of wishful thinking. They'll give you a glimmer, they'll give you just enough to make you stay, just enough possibility of, yeah, I think they mean it this time, I think they're gonna do, you know, I think they're gonna, and you know what, I'll give you a month, I swear to God it'll be back. It's that, it's kind of like the domestic violence circle, where
Yeah,
you
I was
have
just going to say that.
make up, happy days, yeah, oh, it's all good, I love you, and within a month, guess what, it's come round to dark days again, and it's the same shit, different day. So yeah, so like I said, you know, it's like being on drugs. You get to the point where you know it's bad for you, and you have to give it up. You know you got to give it up. And codependency works the same way. It's a toxic way of relating. Yeah, and of course, if you don't have any love and respect for yourself, which is quite pretty much runs, if you're in a codependent relationship, I guarantee you also lack self-worth and self-love and respect for yourself, because if you didn't, you would not be in that relationship. But unfortunately, until you deal with those childhood traumas and those emotional wounds, you're never going to be free of it, and you're never going to be able to walk away. And I do honestly believe, and this is my experience as well, is that you do have to walk away. You have to go, that's it, I'm done, I'm out of here. They have to know that you're gone for good, but there will be a period of time where they'll nicey do all the things that you've been asking. Oh, I've joined, you know, a men's group, or oh, I'm going to counseling now, or oh, I've joined AA now, or whatever the hell it is. And so you think, oh, good, okay then. But you know what? If they're not joining it, if they're not doing it for them, they're doing it just in order to get you back, they'll drop it. They won't keep it up. So it's almost like we have to love ourselves enough to turn the cheek, grab your babies, and walk out the door, even if you don't know what the hell is next. You know, like, I don't know what to do. Look, I've walked out, and my first husband, who is at his peak of freaking narcissism right now with my daughter, and she's like, there's no way he's gonna win. But I got to a point where the annihilation of me and the belittling of me and the lack of worth and lack of love for myself by being in that environment got so bad that I had to leave. You know, she was 2. We were about to build a house. Like, a contract signed, they were ready to start building. And I walked out and I went to a shelter, a woman's shelter, because I knew if I went to my mum's, he would be at my mum's, begging, pleading, raging, whatever it took to get me back. And I'm like, I know. All I did was I left a note, and I nearly didn't go. It was only because I called her, I don't even know how, you know, shakily, you find a number and you pick up the phone and you're talking to the person and they're like, well, do you want to just come and have a look? You know, and you think, oh, well, I guess I could. Well, how about you just pack an overnight bag just in case, you know, like, thank God she said that to me. And I did. And anyway, of course, long story short, about a week later, you know, he wormed his way back into my life. Hey, we got this house, you know, they're all ready to start, and da-di-da, and yeah. Anyway, and then the next time was like harder, because then you're leaving your home. By then I had another child. So it was harder again, you know, what am I going to do for money? And I remember getting to my mum's at that point. I went to mum's. I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't know how I'm going to do this. And she looked me straight in the eye and she said, one day at a time. And sometimes it's 1 hour at a time, you know, it's not easy. It will take all of your strength. And, you know, these codependent relationships with parents even, you know, that are still alive, if they're still functioning in that way and they haven't gone and gotten help and worked through their stuff, it's toxic. If it's toxic to you and you come away feeling like a piece of dirt, like you're worth nothing, you don't put yourself there. Like, I don't care if they're blood and you never see them again. Like, you know, it's almost like, think how a narcissist thinks. It's got to be all about you at some point if you're ever going to get yourself out of it. And it's, you know, and they might think, oh, you know, you're being selfish or I'm being selfish and da-da-da. You're saving yourself. You're saving your own life, because if you stay there long enough, you will be thinking about ways to kill yourself. I freaking promise you that. You know, because it will escalate over the years. It will just get worse and worse. And especially in these times when everything is so up in the air and people are losing jobs and work and they're highly stressed and they can't pay the mortgage, everything just all of that stuff just gets amplified. And we've got to be able to find the help that we need and move through it. So, and getting over the need to be needed too. Like, that's a big thing, because if you don't, you know, you lose that desire for anyone to need you, man, you're free and no one can control you then, because at the end of the day, you don't give a shit. It's like, I like you, I want to be around you, but I don't need you. So it's like, oh, well, then how am I going to control you? That's correct, you're not. So bye-bye. Or, you know, you just don't attract those people anymore once you work through it. But anyway, Judes, I'm so glad you made it, lovely. Have you raised your hand? Is that, oh, no, you haven't. What's that? Let me know if you've got any questions. It's all good.
I'm just listening in the background.
Yeah, that's okay, darling. So is Henrietta. I apologize so much. I'm like, why can't she get on? Why can't she see?
I couldn't live stream, and I had another call at 7, and it was a Zoom call, and it was so quick. There was over 100 people that got on the call, and then I tried to get into yours at 7:30. Yeah, it was a Cash FX call. I tried to get on yours at 7:30, and I was like, what am I doing wrong tonight? Maybe someone's trying to tell me I'm not supposed to be on anything. Like, I'm supposed to be doing nothing.
I got on all of these. I've got all these meetings scheduled with people, and I accidentally gave you Henrietta's link for tomorrow.
Yes, you did. And I thought maybe, you know, sometimes you just have the one link. And,
yeah, I don't.
You know,
I've got about, well, because I've got 3 or 4 different meetings booked now, they all have to have their own separate one. This is also new to me, like this technology stuff. I'm just really stoked that I finally figured out how to live stream to Facebook. So yay to me. I'm pretty proud of that. Anyway.
Well, I couldn't find it.
Right here now. Well, you know why you couldn't find it? Because it was me sending you.
Oh, okay.
I actually didn't realize. I thought I'd sent you the link. Obviously, I hadn't. Anyway, my apologies.
All good. No worries.
So,
I'm just listening.
Yeah, that's okay. So, and, you know, let it just float through you, because, it's really, it's information. And it's also about
very interesting. It is very interesting, right? And I see it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we think about the trauma, when we heal that childhood trauma, we also heal the need for another person to make us happy. And so we stop giving our power away, because if we think we need someone else in our life to make us happy, that's where we compromise ourselves and we give our power away, and we limit our true authentic selves, because we're not willing to be that authentic, that we dare show up with our own needs and own you know, I don't want to say expectations, but you know, there's times when we have expectations, or say we have the expectation that our partner's not going to cheat on us. Okay, that's a fair enough expectation if they've agreed to be in relationship. But you know, other than stuff like that, or agreements that you've both made together, and then all of a sudden someone stopped following through on that, you know, you've got every right to go, hey, this isn't working, because relationships are a bit of a business deal. They are a deal, you know. In the sense, that's what a relationship is. It's a deal and deliver. I do this for you, then you do that for me, and we're all happy. And that's how it's been portrayed to us. But what I really want to do is push us 100 miles into the future ahead of going, well, what would the ideal relationship look to you? What if you stop calling it a relationship? Because there's so many, we're all interconnected, right? So there's so much heavy energy even on that word. There's a lot of people, and probably me included, saying, I don't want a relationship, not meaning I don't want to have someone in my life and be loving and caring and vice versa. I just don't want what this society has declared is relationship, which is about, I do this for you, you do this for me, and if you're lucky, you know, we'll be okay with that. Like, we've got to go beyond that, and there's got to be, you know, there's got to be inner intimacy, which is showing up. It's not about sex. It's about showing up, going, I'm feeling really upset about this, or, you know, whatever it is, because I just feel really unappreciated. You know, part of our deal was this, and you've stopped doing that. Like, can you fill in some gaps here? Because it's really making me resent you, and I love you. I don't want to resent you, but my needs, I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling, and so this is just not working for me. So what are we going to do about it? Like, it's about having that open conversation, that discussion, and being willing to be really your authentic self. Yeah, so I feel like I am talking a lot, and like, well, that's what I do best. But I do want to stop and pause and just go, if there's anything, you know, that you want to ask along the way, or you have an aha moment that you want to share, you know, interrupt away. So, yeah, and also in a healthy relationship, if you want to call it a relationship, you know, there'll be honesty, there will be trust, and there will be respect. If you don't have that, well, you don't bloody have anything worth having, I don't think, but that's my personal opinion. And if you have the honesty, trust, and respect, you won't have a codependent relationship. So, yeah, I guess you got to decide, well, you know, are you settling? Like, is it all that it's, you know, if you thought it was or once was? And it's okay if it's gone off path. There's always, you can always get back on the path, but you've got to have two people in agreement. You've got to have, it's got to be a partnership. And perhaps partnership is a much better word than relationship, because partnership to me says, well, we're in this together. This isn't all just about you and me running after you. No, we're in this together, and I need you to back me as much as I back you. I need you to give as much as I give. You know, maybe not at the same time, because we all have peaks and troughs where we have more to give, or more energy, or more time, but somewhere, you know, it all balances out. That's what you're looking for. Something else I want to say about the codependency relationships is it's very shame-based, and it quite often it comes back to the childhood stuff again, where for us as children, safety was the most important thing. Like, we needed to feel safe. That's the number one thing. And so if people are still stuck in that paradigm, there's usually a lot of shame, personal shame behind all of that really needs to be, you know, looked into or discussed openly. Like, you know, there's a time and place for third party intervention as far as counseling or therapy or mediation or energy work, anything like that, you know. But if both parties are willing to just be vulnerable and drop into their own space and talk from a place of compassion and love, but it's got to be happening the two ways, right? It's a two-way street. So if you're actually in a codependent relationship with a narcissist, well, don't even try, because that ain't never going to happen. And unfortunately, as empaths, because we are very kind and caring, and we would give that person that place to vent or that benefit of the doubt or whatever, doesn't mean that that's never going to happen with the narcissist. They're always going to turn it back on you and make it about them, basically. So yeah, so if we can heal our wounds and get over the need to try and fix people, bloody, it's not our business. We're not God. We don't fix anything. You know, you're the one healing you. That, you know, people are going to do the work. People, you know, you can't do it for your partner. They've got to want to do it for themselves, firstly and foremost, and then for the relationship. And that may mean that there needs to be time apart in order for them to totally focus on that, because
That's something I learned many years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Many years ago. They have to want to do it themselves.
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's not about, you know, I firsthand experienced that one with my husband.
It's not
with
about
everything.
the relationship. It's not about the marriage. It's not about the kids. It's about them and their journey. And, you know, if you get to the point where it's not working for you and your needs aren't getting met, you have to, you know, speak up for yourself. Like, you deserve that.
Fortunately, it hasn't. No. And it wasn't, you know. I must admit, I did get frustrated along the way with some things, with some of the addictions and things. But fortunately, he recognised those things himself.
Awesome.
And he's dealt with them himself over the years.
Yeah.
In his own way, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of my husband's issues stemmed from his sister's death.
Yeah.
And like looking at, you know, how and why and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And again, like you say, that's something that they have to work through themselves. That's part of their journey. That's not, and that's something I'm really proud of, because I'm proud of me too, because that's something that we work together, you know, on our own path, but together to a certain degree, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right, you know, like, and we've also got to look at the part and we play in being the rescuer or the fixer-upper or whatever. It's like, okay, by solving the other person's problems, then we get to be the hero, right? We get to be validated, like, oh, thank you so much, you know, you've really helped me. Well, we've got to look at how much are we needing that validation for ourselves to feel like we're worthy of that person or that relationship. Like, you've got to look at both sides and go, okay, there's something in this for me. Why am I doing this to myself? Because literally we're choosing to have this experience with someone else because of something in here. So we've got to look at what's the payoff for us, because there is a payoff. Otherwise we wouldn't be in it. We wouldn't be playing the game. So there's always our own inner reflection on that. It's not about, and it's everything. It's all about us, right? So, and our emotional wounds won't go away. You know, I was talking to my chiropractor today about that. You know, a lot of people are scared to face the emotional pain, but what they don't realize is that's where we get to set ourselves free. And it's holding, you know, not addressing it and not looking at it. We're actually holding that pain in us. We're going, no, I love this pain so much, I never want to let it go. That's what we're doing. And yet we tell ourselves, oh, I can't go there, and like I'll never stop crying if I go there. That's not the case. You know, that's where your freedom lies. That's where you get to be happy at the end of it. Like, why would you want to walk around holding on to your pain? but I mean, it is a hard thing for people to wrap their heads around. That's for sure. Oh yeah, I loved actually a saying of this guy that I was listening to. He said, codependency is the dance of wounded souls. And it's true, right? Because that's what I said right at the very beginning.
Wow.
Codependent relationship. Do you want me to say it again, Henrietta?
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? Codependency is the dance of wounded souls. And so, and it is, because it's two people locked in their trauma, and quite often we are attracted to each other. It's called trauma bonding. Because we have trauma and they have trauma, we bond through our traumas, and then we traumatize each other some more. So once we heal those traumas, they'll, you know, either heal their traumas as well, or you'll go bye-bye. Because once you've healed your trauma, there's no energetic match anymore. So if you bonded through traumas, and we might not even realize we're carrying emotional baggage from stuff, but if it's there, that's why there's this ignition. It's like, oh, it's because it's two wounded souls finding each other. So healing the shame, yeah, so you need to heal your shame, or you'll end up wounding yourself further. Yeah, you do. You wound yourself in you going into the relationship. Not only are you then wounding each other, you wound yourself even deeper and more, because you are inflicting more pain by staying in that toxic environment and that relationship, and you wound yourself even further, so you feel even less worthy and less lovable and even more shame, because you don't want to tell people what it's really like. Like I remember, I never wanted to admit how bad it was at home. Who wants to admit what you're putting up with? Because you know, if you tell people, they'll go, what the hell are you doing? You're worth so much more than that. Go and get help. You know, you need to leave him. And we know this. God, we know. Don't you think we know this? But it's the nervous system that can't handle dealing with the trauma that has to come up. It has to come out in order to heal. And it's like, I can't deal with that. And so you just keep going with it. And man, when I think about how many years, pretty much most of my adult life was a combination of two narcissistic husbands, it took a long time for me to climb up out of that friggin' pile of doo-doo, I tell you. But I was freaking, there's one thing you know about me, I'm determined, right? Once I decide, it's all over Red Rover, and I didn't even care if it meant me, I don't know, having to do whatever I had to do, right? You know, like there was so many times when my mum had to babysit my kids at night because I had to work at night so that I could be there for them during the day. You know, they were only sleeping at her place, but like you do what you have to do. As a mum, you find a way, you know, and even if it means going to a shelter, like the shame in that, people knowing that you're in a shelter, like especially because with narcissists, they have this persona, then everyone thinks they're wonderful. Everyone, oh no, he wouldn't do that. Oh, what, really? Like it's almost like it's unbelievable, because they paint such a picture in the public life. It just makes us internalize our shame and our smallness even more. So it's a very, very toxic situation, and the only way to happiness is to move through it all. And one last thing I'll say is codependency says, I want you to make me happy, and love says, I want you to do what makes you happy. And that's a weird thing, right? I thought I was doing the right thing. I go, I want you to be happy. I just want you to do what makes you happy, because I felt like I was coming from a place of love, but I didn't understand that I was married to someone who was saying, it's your job to make me happy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, I'm just very grateful to be out of that kind of, out of that. Anyway, my lovelies, before I go, oh yes, I do want to, because people will be watching the replay as well, and I've got stuff to send out. So any questions or anything you two want to say before I go? Before I launch my... It actually something
No.
actually last night.
No, that was really good. Very interesting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is for all of the lovelies out there that are, I've, you know, poked some
Watching the
wounds.
replay.
Yeah, watching the replay, and I've poked some wounds, and you've gone, oh shit, I think I'm in a codependent relationship, or please help me, I know I'm in a codependent relationship and I just don't know how to get out of it and what to do. So I have created, I feel like I want to do a little drum roll because I just loved the name of it. It's called Burn Your Bridges Boot Camp, and it's a 4-week mini rampage, really, of like going deep and dirty. So if you're ready to get down deep and dirty with yourself and explore all of those hidden emotional drivers that keep you on loop of despair in your relationship, you might want to do this. If you're ready to kick them to the curb and use some extra kind of magic and set yourself free, you might want to do this.
It must take a lot of courage to walk out the
Fuck
way.
yes. So much so that I didn't think I ever had the, you know, you don't think you've got the courage, but when it becomes, when you get to the point of, if I don't leave this, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Like internally, every day we stay, we're dying inside. But
Yeah.
you get to a point where you go, I'm actually, either he's going to die or I'm going to, like, you end up, that's why so many, you know, when women or when, you know, someone's murdered, if they're married, guess who's the first suspect? Even if it appeared they had a loving marriage. You know why? Because of that. It's a codependent relationship. It looks all shiny on the outside, but it's a shit box inside, and people don't know, and the woman's too scared to say something, or vice versa, because there's been men in this situation as well. And it's because it's not talked about, and it seems like such a shameful topic, and it's so hard to break free of, because we're caught in this perpetual emotional driver loop, right? It's complex trauma. So this is why I want to do this. Yeah, and it's like, I don't know much to say about it, except that it's gonna take courage, and it's gonna be, your ass is gonna be in the hot seat, and I'm gonna be asking you the questions that I already know the freaking answer to, because I've been there more than once. But I'm asking the questions not from a shaming place. It's from a, you know, for you to go, oh, and be vulnerable enough to go, I know this to be true. I just haven't admitted it to myself yet. But you need the space and the container, if you like, the energetic container to hold you while you dive into that. So that's what it is. Burn the Bridges Boot Camp. It's 4 90-minute weekly calls. It's in a group setting. There's going to be lots of light bulb moments, and I promise you there's going to be blood, sweat and tears along the way, because you don't get out of this without letting that stuff out, you know, because it's already in there. I just want to lift it out. So what's the price? It's $333. Don't ask me why it's $333, but it's $333, and it's only available for 48 hours. So people who get the replay, if they don't watch it, it's too late, too bad, because it ain't coming back. I may or may not do this again. It's a topic that it's close to my heart, but you know, when you get through that, you don't necessarily want to revisit it, but you have to revisit it when you do a call like this. You have to share the memories, right? You have to revisit, and sometimes when you revisit, some of those energies might come back up if they're not, you know, there's always another layer of the onion or another aha moment to go through. But for this time, right here and now. That's what Spirit wants me to do. That's what I'm doing. So I'll pop the link in the comments of the Facebook Live. So if you want to know, or if you know someone who is struggling and you know this is like, this could be the apple pie for them, please share it with them. But like I said, it's, you know, I think it's freaking top value because I know what's coming. It's going to be full on. So I'm prepping myself. I don't, oh God, I think I might have. I was up doing my acuity schedule for it. I think I've set a start date. I do. Oh, the 6th of October. It's going to be a Thursday night at 7:30. Thank you, Spirit, for reminding me. So yeah, that's when we're going to be doing it. And yeah, so that's what it is. I'm going to say good night because my dinner's sitting in the oven and I'm now really, really hungry. Thank you two ladies for joining me. I love that you always come and join and participate and absorb it. Yeah, it's nice to be able to deliver to someone other than a blank screen, even though you're kind of in the dark tonight, but I totally get it.
I'm here.
And
I'm here.
You're here. Like I feel
And I'm
your
listening.
energy,
And
you know?
I find it very interesting. It is very interesting and it's very important. Very important subject.
100%. And I think there's going to be a lot more, like it's up for the collective to heal right now. You know, that's why a lot of relationships are breaking up. But unfortunately,
I think it's something
just
that you should
breaking
put
up
it out
isn't
there.
enough. The work has to be done if those people ever want to move on to a happier, healthier life, relationship, partnership, whatever down the line. So I don't know. I just think this is going to be pretty magical. So I really hope I get to work with some awesome ladies. So spread the word, spread the love.
I will.
And
I will.
have a good evening.
You
Have a
too.
good
Enjoy
evening.
your dinner.
Yeah, I
Thank
will.
you.
I will.
You know.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, Lee. Lovely, Lee.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
honey. Bye.
Good night.